Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to Ottoman's Life. My name is Ali. So we have the new 2023 modular Jazz Club slash PT era. I think it's just called the Jazz Club. And this was probably the most divisive modular release that I've seen so far. Aside from probably the corner garage, a lot of people, there's a love and hate kind of relationship and view that people had that I saw in the communities, the forums, the comments, and the videos and YouTube videos about the new modular from LEGO, which comes out traditionally every January. I fell into the camp that I absolutely loved it. When I first saw it, I thought, fantastic. I love the colors, I love the yellow, I love that blue, I love this dark red, and the fact that it was a jazz club adds a different kind of venue into the city. So for me, I loved it, and it was a day one purchase for me. Having now taken it at home and built it and admiring it and enjoying it, I have to say though, the only negative thing that I can say is that the build experience, although it was pretty quick to be fair, there wasn't that many interesting techniques compared to what I did with the boutique hotel from the modular line. The angle doors here was pretty interesting to do, and doing the stage as well, that was pretty interesting. The windows, okay, they're nice design. There's a different way of slotting them in by doing the slot technique. But aside from that, there wasn't that much in it from a building experience. From an aesthetic perspective, I love it. But from a building experience, yeah, not so much. I didn't really enjoy it. I can't say I thoroughly enjoyed the building experience. It just wasn't there. It was mediocre at best. But having said that, I'm glad I got it. I really like the concept. I really like the colors. I'm a big colors guy, as you know, in my city. I love to have all the Lego Friends set converted to modulars, so all those splashes of colors everywhere as opposed to just dull gray kind of thing. However, there's probably nothing stopping from people from changing these blues into maybe a gray or a darker muted color as well, like even the yellow as well if you really want. But I really like it. For me, it was great. So I'm not going to do a full review because there's plenty of people who've done full reviews, but I thought what would be really interesting is how this looks against all the other modulars that people may have. I mean, I only have them from the Parisian Restaurant onwards, so I don't have the Brick Bank or Detective's Office, unfortunately, or the Green Grocer. But I do have quite a few of them, so I thought why not get them all out, show you how they look either or side by side, give you my opinions and see how it looks. So it saves you from doing the same thing if you're trying to place them into your city. Okay, I'll catch you after the break. So I'm going to kick things off with one of my favorite modulars, the diner set. This was always a difficult modular to fit into the Lego City because of its colors and its curve, and it has that appearance of being a corner building. But against a jazz club, it works, it fits. I don't know what it is, but it really works. The depth is there. It doesn't look out of place with that curve and neck right next to the jazz club. Maybe it's the theme, but even on the other side, I think it even works as well, because this staircase was always a problem when placing against another building, having that little gap. But it works against the jazz club, and I think maybe the yellow color and the light tan brick of the diner and the white coming through, I think it matches and complements quite well. Plus, jazz club, diner, pizzeria, the themes go very well together. I think those will be fantastic in a entertainment street within the city, with exactly how I'm going to plan to have that located in my city as well. Now, keeping with the Art Deco theme is my version of the Palace Cinema, so the colour scheme may be different to the official modular, but it's good to see just from a depth and size perspective that it is built exactly to that specification. and it works. I love the way it looks. It matches perfectly. The height wise as well, nothing looks kind of a little bit out of place. Maybe that roof of the Palace Cinema. Flipping around to the other side, I think even works even better with that little alcove of the pizzeria in there. You do see some of the ugly side of the Palace Cinema building there, especially with some of the colors that I've chosen, but nonetheless I think it matches and it kind of looks well, so that would never look out of place in the city. The Parisian Restaurant, this is my favorite modular so far and of all time. This looks phenomenal against the Jazz Club. The staircase in the middle, which again always one of the problems with this set, but it works here, and that's because both sides of the Parisian Restaurant and the Jazz Club have clean walls, so there's no ugly parts here or bricks there. It just looks great together, and the themes go well. The same height, the space that we got in between works really well, and even now when you flip it to the other side, it works even better. That central alcove of that pizzeria yellow restaurant, I think is going to work with any building on that side. And just as I mentioned earlier, because the Parisian Restaurant, the side of those walls are nice and clean, there's no ugly bricks or plates showing out from there, it works. And I think this layout with the Parisian on the right of the Jazz Club, I think it just works perfectly. I'm only focusing on just the bookshop of that bookshop modular. Forget the townhouse. No townhouse would theoretically be next to a Jazz Club. It just doesn't work. But the bookshop, it kind of goes well together. The colors matching, maybe not so much with that brown against the red. I'm not quite sure. I'm convinced with that. Depth-wise, it works really well. Flipping around to the other side, it also does work. The depth with that pizzeria in a little bit does show some of the bricks, but it's not that ugly, so it kind of works. And I think that brown goes really well with that yellow, and the flower piece on that wooden board against the bookshop, the depth works out perfectly from here. So either way, I think this layout is probably better than the bookshop on the other side, in my view, but it still works, and it will work quite nicely together with the bookshop modular. So, how does it compare and look next to last year's modular, which was the boutique hotel? So you have to forgive I did some modifications with those golds and all this kind of stuff, so it's not going to be 100% exactly true, but this side, for me, I'm sorry, but it doesn't work. That depth is too much of a gap for me to have when having the boutique hotel on the left of the Jazz Club, and because you can see the plates and the different colors on the side, it doesn't work. Putting around the other side though, it's not too bad, you know, looking at it with that again pizzeria alcove and that gap for the hotel, which on the corner, so you can see the windows coming out, but this layout isn't too bad. It isn't bad as I thought it would be, so maybe this could work. I think it's not the worst placement to have next to the previous modular of 2022. Assembly Square, what an awesome modular. So how does it look against the Jazz Club? I'm not convinced. It's the same color as the bookshop with those tiles. It doesn't really fit for me. The colors just don't match. Although the depth is fine, we don't see any overlap when you place it to the left of the Jazz Club, but when you look at it full frontal, it just doesn't go. It just doesn't fit. I just don't see it. I don't really like it that much. What's even worse though, if you try and flip it around to the other side, it's too much of an issue then with those clean walls that I was talking about. With the Parisian had the clean walls, the Assembly does not. You can then see all those ugly plates and color schemes there that just should be hidden. I always thought the Assembly Square, that side of the building, was just a beautiful building just cut in half, so it should be a similar building, similar height, right butted up against it, and to hide all that. But really, against the Jazz Club, I don't believe the Assembly Square, beautiful as it is, they don't belong together in the city, in my humble opinion, of course. The police station 2021 modular. Gosh, has it been that long already in 2023? Great modular, loved it. I still want to do my Brooklyn Nine-Nine vision in that building. I will do one day. But against the jazz club, whether in reality you would have a police station next to the jazz club remains to be seen. But technically and physically it works. That little alcove there seems okay, the depth seems fine, the colors don't seem to clash too much. I think though, again, is suited on the other side with the police station on the right. That pink or purple, sorry, and that yellow, I think they go really well together. Now that really works. So you have that pizzeria, that donut shop, then the police station, after the jazz club. I think it works really well. The depth seems fine. You don't see much of the ugly wall that donut shop has. It looks fairly good and acceptable in my view. The corner garage, probably my least favorite modular from the official line. I don't know why I still got it built, maybe because I still love that dentist and the vet, sorry, not the dentist, the vet that's in there that's afraid of snake because of my love of Indiana Jones. In any way, the layout here, the sequence, I'm just not liking it at all. Even more on this side where you can definitely see all the ugliness of that side of the wall of the building. The color, well, I'm still not sold on the color of the garage. I just love the building itself and just not the color. So for me, a bit of a thumbs down to have these two next to each other in the city if you have this building. So, although not an official modular, I know a lot of people, myself included, love the Doctor Strange Sanctum Sanctorum and have this as a modular in their city. I love it. However, it doesn't quite work against the jazz club. Even though Doctor Strange looks like the kind of guy who would be into jazz and would love to live right next to a jazz club, it doesn't work on either side, especially this side with that gap. The depths don't work. There's too much of those of the sides being shown here. This alleyway breaks it up too much for my liking. Although the wall is nice and clean, it just doesn't seem right. And something a little bit different. This is another little side build that I did of my own, based on the Noodle Shop. I know a lot of people have done this. This one works quite well, just to show the color scheme that they have, and then how suitable the jazz club is to have a little side build next to it. The depths work really well, and I think that gives it a different vibe to the jazz club itself. Here's another little rebrickable model based on the Lego Friends. That color really works. Hope that was helpful then to save you the time and the trouble of placing the jazz club against all the modules that you may have in your city. In my city, it's more than likely going to be in the entertainment district when I get that up and running, next to the Palace Cinema, the diner, maybe the theatre and other lovely colourful buildings that I have. Let me know if you'd like to see this placed against any of my mocks that I have in the city, to see how that looks, and that might give you an idea for your mocks as well, and some inspiration. Till then, enjoy building, enjoy Lego, and stay healthy, stay blessed. Peace and love as always. Ciao, ciao.